Hi, this is Austin Parsons, Pitmaster with Smoky Mountain Q in Nashville, Tennessee, and you are listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. You sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh, should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the Really Big BBQ Central Show, a show that from time to time loves to talk about barbecue and grilling. Now you may ask yourself, where are you originating from? Well, this week we are coming to you from the friendly confines of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. The barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Grimpy. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday. If you want to jump in on the show tonight, it's a phone call or an email, and here are the info for both.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening coming up in about 12 minutes from now. A guy who has probably made a, you might term it, small handful of appearances over the life of this show. He is, at this point, one of the premier custom offset Texas-style pit makers ever to have donned such a title. When you talk about Texas offset pits, of course, you have brands like Pits and Spits, the famed and ever-famous Dave Close, and then this guy, I mean, to me, it's 1A, 1B, Close, and then the owner creator of Gator Pits, Ritchey Robyn, will rejoin the show. You telling me when you're thinking about offset Texas pits, Ritchey Robyn is one of the first. If not the first, probably the second. Not the second, probably the third. He is right up there, a premier offset pit manufacturer. Now, you might be asking yourself, it's the holiday season, or we're going to be talking about offset pits, blah, blah, blah. We'll probably get a little bit of Gator Pit business update right up front. However, Thanksgiving in a couple days. That means we are into the holiday season. Holiday season means gifts, and you need ideas, and I am here to help out, especially when I see what I think is probably an overlooked item in the gift giving. You probably have 1 billion of these laying around your house in varying shapes and sizes, and they're probably all, by and large, too small for what you need. Believe it or not, talking about cutting boards. That's right. So while I will be talking with a famed pit maker, the balance of the conversation with Ritchey tonight is going to be about cutting boards and a fantastic product that he is now representing and pushing. And we're going to talk about it and why you might want to think about getting one this holiday season, either for yourself or loved one, or for yourself and a loved one, or somebody that likes to light a fire, maybe a boss, whatever. We're going to talk all about it. It's going to be great. You're going to be very impressed. You're probably going to get 5. Then, after Ritchey, we will talk with what is usually a third Tuesday of the month regular guest. She had to bow out last week because she was traveling back from the NYC. Negative. She was traveling back from Chicago, and she was at the Smoke Fire release party. I'm calling it a release party. I'm not sure exactly what that was. The release of Smoke Fire, as we talked about last week with Kevin Coleman. That, of course, is the creator of GrillGirl.com, Robyn Lindars. Wow, do we have a lot to talk. Robyn lives with a man, and I mean man in every sense of the word. Like, I'm a man because anatomically I'm a man, but I'm really no man. Like, I'm not beating anybody up. I'm not intimidating. It's quite an unfortunate event for me as a man. Robyn is married to a man. You know, they sold an extremely cool house in the Florida Keys, wherever the hell they were living first. It was done up very nicely and had a pool and all these. I mean, it was just a lot. I saw pictures of it when it was for sale. I mean, it was an incredible home. And they bought 20 acres in the middle of wherever they are now. And there's wild animals abound. And he is just killing everything with his guns and arrows and perhaps nets, maybe hanging devices. And he comes home with hauls of dead stuff and throws them right in the refrigerator. You follow Robyn on Instagram, and she's like, oh, look what's in my refrigerator today. There's dead stuff right there in the refrigerator. I could never get away with that in my house. Well, first of all, I could never do that anyway. Again, man, not a man. There's no way I could get away with that in my house. No way. Having just rando dead things? No. We'll talk to Robyn, rounding out the first hour. Second hour, fourth Tuesday of the month, Embedded Correspondents segment. Is that enough? You're damn right it is. Lots of Thanksgiving talk tonight, of course. So if you're looking for tips last minute, they will be sprinkled without, or throughout, I should say. You can also follow me socially at BBQ Central Show all week. I have been giving you previous Thanksgiving tips on previous shows, dating all the way back to 2013. So if you want to check it out, go back through the feed and see where I'm at. Now, also, / BBQ Central Show on the Facebook if you want to follow me there. Also, video feed on Facebook. This is for all the competition cooks out there. And I want you to listen to this bit that I'm about to play for you. This dates back to 2010, March 2010, to be specific. And I was doing a competition roundtable with what was then the 3 best brisket cooks in the country for KCBS. And the lead question for me was, and I'm paraphrasing, do you cook Wagyu or have you ever considered it? First, the first answer you will hear, and they're going to be playing in succession, it's like a 30-second clip, will be from Darren, then Steve Farron from I Smell Smoke, and Rod Gray from Pellet Envy. The 3 biggest, probably at that point, the 3 biggest competition cooks in general, but the 3 best brisket cooks in 2009, that preceding year. Here's what they had to say when I said, have you ever considered Wagyu? March 2010.
No.
Ever dabbled with the Wagyu?
Never tried it.
Never. All right. Steve.
What's the reason to?
Steve, Wagyu guy or no?
No. If I was Rod Gray and had his money, maybe.
Have you ever tried the Wagyu just for fun and giggles?
I wouldn't even know where to get it.
You're hearing what's happening, right? Darren Worth just asked, why would I? That's all he cooks on at the moment. He wouldn't be caught dead cooking anything other than a Wagyu. Steve Farron has no idea back in 2010 where he could even find a Wagyu brisket. Don't even know where I could find it.
All right, Rod Gray.
No, I can't spell Wagyu, let alone afford it. Honestly, I'm not sure. I haven't ever seen a Wagyu or a Kobe brisket in person.
Me neither.
Can you imagine?
Get that big stuff out of here.
Guys, this isn't 20 years ago. This isn't the beginnings of barbecue. This was 9 years ago. So just so you can firmly grasp how much competition barbecue has evolved. You know, 2 years prior to that, I had a brisket roundtable with Jim Minion and Ed Morin, Fast Eddie, as you know, Leanne Whippen, who just won that Food Network show earlier in the year, and Ray Lampe. And I said, is anybody injecting briskets? And all of them, to a man and woman, said, no. Why would we do that? Well, certainly there wasn't the amount of injections or anything like that as there are today. But just to give you an idea of what has changed over the course of 9 years. Now, directly after that whole Rod, Steve, and Darren thing, Rod did say that being a competitor, that there are things that he understands as evolution happens. He wasn't 100% turned off to the fact, and it was a great roundtable. You should go back and listen to it. And a few of you have been asking if I'll be bringing competition roundtables back. At this point, no, just because, there just isn't a huge competition interest at the moment. As things change, maybe that'll change. But again, to give you the snapshot of where things have gone in 9 years, Darren Worth, Steve Farron, and Rod Gray at that time, and Darren, by the way, happens to be still the best in a lot of people's minds. They had no idea where they could get Wagyu. They had never even considered getting a... Rod Gray can't even spell Wagyu. And now you line those three up at a competition in 2019 as we're rapidly coming to a close-in. Or early in 2020 and say, would you rather have the Choice or Select or CAB or Prime or Wagyu? They're probably going Wagyu. Everybody can find it now. Everybody knows how to spell it now, but in 2009, not the case. It's a cool bit of info. By the way, that was also one of those Wednesday shows that evidently I used to do. I've completely blocked that from memory. Ritchey, Robyn coming up out of the break. Let me talk to you quickly about Southside Market and Barbecue, established in 1882. Southside is the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations, famous for the original beef sausage, which is coarse ground and a natural pork casing. And they also have authentic Central Texas barbecue meats for sale as well. All meats, including the prime briskets, are slow and low smoked for many hours over real Texas post oak wood. They ship nationwide via the online store at southsidemarket.com, and they ship fresh and smoked sausages nationwide. Shipping customers can choose to order now and ship later, include a custom gift note or holiday note, and you can mail to multiple addresses with no additional charges. I did that last year for the Embedded Correspondents. It's a great thing to take advantage of. All shipped items vacuum sealed to ensure freshness and ease of preparation for the customer. The meats are processed on their on-site USDA inspected facility. They have an on-site meat market for fresh and smoked products. Custom orders are welcome if you want to do that. Now, if you want to eat at Southside Market, 2 restaurants. Elgin, Texas since 1882 and Bastrop, Texas since 2014. Grocery distribution through Texas and many of those surrounding states. Here's the best part. If you go to southsidemarket.com and you enter in coupon code BBQ Central, all one word, lowercase, BBQ Central, one word, you get 10% off your entire online order. So if you order tomorrow, 10% off if you use code BBQ Central. If you order in a week from now, that discount still applies. It's not just the first order. First order, second order, 742nd order. 10% off. Coupon code BBQ Central. That's BBQ Central, all lowercase, one word, at southsidemarket.com. 10% off your online orders. Speaking of orders, let me tickle your fancy on cutting boards. Coming up next with Rich Robyn and Gator Pit. Stick around, be right back.
Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, sauces, seasonings, grilling oils. All the Butcher Barbecue products tested on the competition circuit as well as backyards worldwide. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood and visit butcherbbq.com to stock up now. Always trust your butcher. By the way, if you go over to butcherbbq.com, check out Dave's new podcast. He's like 3 episodes in. Really good. I don't recommend anybody's podcast, but I will recommend Dave's podcast. And no, not because he's just a sponsor of my show, you bastards. It's actually pretty good. Good job, Dave. Hey, my first guest tonight has been selling one of the top offset and vault-style smokers in the industry now for quite a while. And, I don't know, it was again, to me, it's always 2 and 3 years. But a while back, he also introduced a pellet cooker that's in the mix now. Tonight, we're talking about something that might just go with any new Gator Pit purchase, or any cooker for that matter. Cutting boards, right? So we go to the hotline and welcome back friend of show and the owner of Gator Pits, Ritchey Robyn. Hey, Rich.
What's going on, Greg? How y'all doing, man?
I'm absolutely fabulous, Rich. Appreciate you making time for the show this evening. And all right, well, set me straight right off the bat in the intro. How long has it been since you've introduced that pellet cooker?
I think we're going on almost 4 years now. 4 years.
All right. Well, I'm almost in that too. Again, Rich, like as I get older and things happen on the show all the time, to me it's always like 2 to 3 years ago, but sometimes it's 8 and 9 and 10, but I don't know. It's always 2 to 3. Anyway, let's talk quickly before we get into the cutting board talk here this evening, which is the lion's share of the segment. Let's talk about pit building and where Gator Pit is in 2019 from a business standpoint. How's everything going?
Man, everything's going just wonderful. We have, as you mentioned just now, we started those pellet grills a few years back, and I started out with one model. I had 2 different sizes in that one model, and it has now grown to about 6 to 8 different models.
Really?
Yes. We've gotten into the commercial end of it. So we've got big pellet grills that have dual hoppers on them. We have pellet grills that hold up to 26 to 28 pork butts at one time. We've got pellet grills that go in concession trailers and food trucks. It has expanded or exploded.
Did you, I mean, obviously when you first got into the business, it was all offset stuff and steel and not a lot of electrical or other moving components. They were pretty easy to maintain as long as you as an owner did your side of things. Did you ever think that you would be this involved with the pellet style?
No, I did not, to be honest. Probably 10 years ago, well, not probably, without a doubt, 10 years ago, if you said, hey, Gator Pit, you come out with a pellet grill, I'd be like, nope, not going to happen. And it has, customer demand dictates where you go.
Are you still the majority of traditional offset, or is pellet starting to eat it?
Yeah. I'm 80 to 85% still my good old traditional Iron Horse, Gator Pit, offset, 1/4-inch, heavy-duty, 1/2-inch thick cookers, without a doubt.
All right, lead time-wise, I guess, and we have to talk about both sides. What about the mainstay, and then what about pellet cookers?
All right, so the pellet cookers we were doing in about a 12-week lead time. Because we've now got such a demand for those, they are now in the same lead time as our custom offset smokers, which gets into like months.
Yeah. All right. So the best thing to do if you're interested in either one now is just to call in, talk with you, or talk with one of the people in the office to get your quoted lead time, because inevitably when you're talking with somebody like yourself, this really comes down to customization from stem to stern. It's like buying a Peterbilt, right? I mean, you're going to put whatever you want on it, and you're one of the few that are allowing the customer to really set those parameters. You'll give them some guidelines, but in the end, the customer is going to dictate.
Very true. That is 100% correct, Greg. There's very few what I call true custom pit builders nowadays. Everybody's gone to the standard models that they've come up with, and what you see is what you get. So they're kind of getting towards that box store type cooker, even a lot of the big names out there now. Mm-hmm. Gator Pit's staying old school, man. We're still building what people want, and we're meeting what those people's demands are and what their wants and needs are. And they're still looking at my standard models on my website, but very few people order those standard models. They're using that as a baseline to start with what they want, and then they trick them out and custom design them even further than what's listed on the website. So we're still a true custom builder, and I've got customers that send me specifications on stuff that's not even on my website. Obviously, they don't have the specs, but they want me to custom build what they themselves have designed, or someone else that they've got to design for them, that they're looking for somebody who can build it for them, and they come to us. So we are still old school welding and fabrication and building custom cookers. We're a rare breed, man, but we're still alive and kicking, and we have a lot of work ahead of us, man. So we're still in demand.
How many years are you into pit building now, Rich?
I started building. I built my first barbecue pit when I'm 53 years old, first of all. So I built my first barbecue pit when I was 14 years old in high school at FFA. And there was a time that I wasn't doing anything, and then I got back into the custom designing and building in 1991, and I've been going full time with it since 1995 with Gator Pit. So I started out with Gator Pit LLC, and then we went into in 1995 as Gator Pit LLC, and in 2002 we changed the name to Gator Pit of Texas LP, and all those changes come because we're constantly growing, we're constantly improving and growing as a company, and here we are now, 2019 going to 2020, and we're still growing. We still have growing pains, man.
Better to have growing pains than closing the shop pains, that's for sure. We're talking with Ritchey Robyn, and the website, by the way, gatorpit.net, and you're going to want to check that out here in a second. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the cutting boards here. So as I had mentioned in the open, Rich, everybody has cutting boards. I mean, if you go into my kitchen right now where the cookie trays are, or what are baking sheets, if you want to call them, and some baking racks, there's 5 or 6, maybe even 7 random size. What I thought was big until I got my hands on the one that you'd sent me there a couple weeks ago, and varying down from there, and nothing that's going to change your life. But this might be an overlooked item as far as how important they are, especially when it comes to size and functionality. So how did this cutting board opportunity present itself to you in Gator Pit?
Okay, years back, I had a guy that was building boards for me, and this was years ago, and they were the marine type boards that we have now, that's being manufactured for us. And that guy at some point decided that he was going to go with all wood, and we didn't want wood. I didn't want wood. I didn't want to promote or market a wood cutting board. So cutting boards got put on a back burner. And this guy Ian, with the board manufacturing company now, who's here in the Houston area. Ian came to me, just walked in my shop out of the blue and says, "Hey, I got these boards. Are you interested in buying some of these boards?" And your first thought when you have a salesman walk in is you just blow them off, right? And it's kind of, I get 10 walk-ins a day, right? And phone calls just drives me nuts. So, when he said cutting boards, I'm like, yeah, let me look at them. So he brought me some boards in, and I was like, they're nice. They look good. And long story short is, I bought one from him, and I took it home, and I really got to looking at it, looking at the quality of it, looking at the construction of it, looking at what the material was, looking at the features of it and the size of it, and I'm like, man, this might be what I'm looking for to push through Gator Pit. And I used it, cooked on it, or not cooked on it, but cooked and used it to chop briskets and slice briskets and ribs and all that. And, to me, it's just the perfect size. It really is. I mean, I can. This past Saturday, I did a 15-pound whole brisket, and I was able to keep it on the board, keep it within the grease trough that goes around all 4 sides that catches all your liquids, right? So it doesn't overflow and drain on your cabinet or your floor. And I was able to slice that flat up. I was able to chop up my point and keep everything on the board. And I was able to do even a rack of ribs on there at the same time. So it's a good size, but it's not overly large that you can't handle it. This size is 35 long, it's 18 wide, and get this, guys, it's ½ inch thick, and it weighs 16 pounds. And some people may say, "Wow, that's just too much board to handle." It's not. Not if you're cooking brisket, not if you're doing ribs and multiple cuts of meat at one time. And if you're cooking multiple cuts of meat, a variety of foods at one time, you have to have a board like this. And I know Greg's showing probably photos of my board of me cooking that with the veggies on. There was a gumbo I was doing, and I was able to cook all my onions, my green onions, my bell peppers, my garlic, everything on the board, chopped up, moved to the side, moved to the next veggie, all at the same time, and never have to get it off of my board. It all fit, and then it went straight from my board right into my pot. I don't have that with anything else that I have. And like you said, Greg, I got boards coming out the yang over
yeah.
there, man. I mean, they're in my cabinets, they're in my drawers, they're everywhere. This board is the ticket. It fits all my needs, and anybody that cooks a lot like I do, and a lot of us do. This is the board you've got to have, guys. I'm telling y'all. And I say guys, I mean gals too. You've got to have this board.
So
it works.
Here's the thing that I took away from it. One of the, and you kind of hit on all the great features about it. I personally love the fact that it's not wood. I don't personally prefer a wood cutting board. A lot of professionals out there would tell you that you really shouldn't be dealing with a wood cutting board for safety reasons. So I like the fact that it's not wood. I do like the weight. I mean, I'm kind of a weak, wiry man, so 16 pounds for me is pretty heavy, but I'm able to muscle it around, thank goodness. And the weight to me is a good thing. And then it's got 6 rubber stoppers or rubber feet on the underside of this thing. So when you set it on the countertop, a lot of times when you're working on a board, you get to cutting or you're not putting enough pressure on it because maybe the meat's hot or whatever the case may be, and the board starts to get loose on you, and now you're kind of chasing it around the countertop. Here, because of the weight and you have those rubber footers on the underside, this thing is sticking to the top without any issue of it moving around on you. It's solid. You can get your cuts in. And that's a key that I haven't really seen on any cutting board out there right now.
You are 100% correct. It does. It doesn't slip and slide on you, so when you're slicing, pushing forward, or pulling back, the board does not move on you.
Also, the size, and go ahead, can you give us the dimensions one more time?
All right, it's 35 long, 35 inches long. It's 18 inches wide, and it's half-inch thick. And it's a two-tone. This one that I offer through Gator Pit is a two-tone white with a black trim, a black trough, and it's got side carry handles on it. So you're talking about the weight earlier and manhandling this thing. You've got handles to be able to easily pick this thing up and carry it.
So this, to me, this is a piece. If you have the counter space, maybe sometimes you're in a place counter space is a little bit more of a premium. But for me, I do have a space that I envisioned as soon as this thing showed up in the mail, and boom, I sat it right down on the countertop. This thing isn't going to move. I can work on it. I can, as you said, cut up a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I think I could probably get 4 or 5, maybe even 6 racks of trimmed spare ribs on this thing at one time. So if I was doing a big rib cook, I wouldn't have to dirty a whole bunch of different platters or anything. So, I mean, the convenience is absolutely through the roof. And you're able to, and then there it is, right? The thing that I see, but I don't really think of, this juice or grease trough. So as you're letting things rest, as the juice starts to ooze out of the meat or after it cuts and it starts to go out, whatever, I have had any number of times when I've had a cutting board on the dinner table after we've cut, and the handle, that's where all the juice seems to run to, and now it's on the tablecloth and it's a big mess and I look like a fool. Here, that's going to catch all in that trough that runs on the outside there, and it's like one of those plastic welded kind of a thing, so it's like the board itself, very heavy duty, very well constructed.
Correct. That trough is 1/4 inch to 3/8 thick, or deep rather. So it's got a big channel all the way around it that's going to hold a lot of juices. And the reason for it is because when you're doing a brisket, right, if you cook meat right, it's juicy, right? You got juicy meat.
Yep.
And a brisket's got a lot of juice in it. So when you set that brisket off the pit onto your board and you start slicing into it, you've got a lot of liquids, a lot of juice coming out of that thing. At least you should. And it needs somewhere to go. And if you just have a flat board, guess where it's going? It's going on your countertop.
Yep.
It's going on your floor. It's dripping down your cabinet below. And this is going to catch all that. It makes it very convenient and very user-friendly and an easy cleanup.
If you're interested, you go to GatorPit.net right now. Top right, there's a button that says Store, and it's the first thing listed. And by the way, because he's a really great guy from Texas, and all guys from Texas are really great, by the way, ask Doug Scheiding. If you use promo code BBQ Central at checkout, you get 10% off right now on that board. So 10% off of what, you might add? What's the cost of this board right now?
All right, right now with the 10% off, it's $148.50. I believe it's $148.50. The board retails for $165. Basically what you call MSRP, right? And we got that 10% discount code on it, and so you're going to get it for $148.50. And we ship it out. If you order it, it ships out usually within 24 hours. So if you order tomorrow or today, it'll ship tomorrow. If you order tomorrow, it'll ship the next day. It may even ship tomorrow if you order early enough in the day. We ship them out quick, man. They go out fast. I've got them in stock. They're ready to roll, man. We shipped out at least 5 late this afternoon before I left work. We're shipping these things out daily. I mean, it's just they're selling like hotcakes. Barbecue guys are loving them, and they're decorative. I mean, look how pretty that board is sitting on my counter. That's my countertop at my house, my granite counter, and it's decorative. I mean, it's something that you're not going to want to go put in the drawer or put in your cabinet. You can leave it on the countertop or leave it on top of the stove, and you know, it's something that you're going to be proud of it to have and show and let people see it.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to pull it out and have everybody take a look at it Thursday coming up. I mean, you can imagine how great this is going to be to use for Thanksgiving. You could put a 785-pound turkey on that thing and still have space left over, or put a little game hen next to it if you wanted to. So, again, promo code BBQ Central for 10% off right now. There might be some folks when you say, 165 MSRP, you get a little sticker shock. But I think it's important to, again, remind everybody here that this is a piece, this isn't going to be one of those cutting boards that last a year, maybe 2 if you are lucky and you get that time frame out of it. This thing's going to be last for years and years. So ROI is actually through the roof on this.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, GatorPit.net is the website. Rich, what's going on for Thanksgiving over there?
Man, I'm frying turkeys, I'm smoking turkeys, and my wife's cooking a crawfish etouffee, and we're going to have a bunch of different Cajun-type dishes and sides that go along with all that, and I got family coming over here.
Are you a dessert guy, or is there going to be like pies, or is there like
pecan
a special
pie.
text?
I'm a pecan.
Yeah.
I am a pecan pie fanatic. I will eat the whole damn pie, and ain't nobody getting any of it but me.
What makes a good, what's a good pecan pie? Because we don't get that up here, or you would have to make it, and it's like nothing that's on the top of the mind here in Cleveland. That's definitely a southern thing. But, I mean, are they supposed to be like juicy, or I don't even know if that's the right description.
Juicy. You don't want a runny one. I can tell you that. You want some good crusty pecans on top. You want a good crust. You don't want it runny. You want it kind of firm.
I got to get my hands on a good pecan pie. Send a recipe up this way, damn it, Richie, and then we'll see what we can do.
I might have to just ship you one.
Even better. That's right. Ship me one up here, and we'll cut it right up on that board. It's great. Again, the website, GatorPit.net. Hit the store button at the top right. It's red. And then the first thing listed is that cutting board, MSRP 165, but use promo code BBQ Central for 10% off. And that brings it down to about $148.50. And we're talking with the founder of Gator Pit, Ritchey Robyn. Ritchey, have a great Thanksgiving, my friend. And thanks so much for this promo code. And we'll try and push them out as much as possible.
Greg, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on the show again. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure, man. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and God bless everybody.
All right, take care. There he is, Ritchey Robyn. Did he say he built his first pit when he was 15 years old? Holy moly. He's been making pits for damn near 40 years. He said he was 53, right? I mean, my math is solid there, I think. Wowee. See, nobody's doing that anymore. I mean, is anybody making barbecue pits in high school anymore? Is anybody even welding in high school anymore? Can you even weld in high school anymore? Is that too dangerous? Working on cars, trades? I mean, I'm no tradesman because we have established at the top of the show I am no man.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Don't worry about what professional job, like executive job you should be looking for. You should be plumbing. You should be getting into electrician. You should be doing woodworking. You should be becoming an auto mechanic or a diesel, like heavy-duty diesel mechanic. Come on. You got to get into that. Forget about this sales bullshit. Leave that for me. I'm good at that. That's it. I'm not good at anything else. Again, that promo code BBQ Central for 10% off right now on probably the best cutting board you might get your hands on. How about this? You buy it, use the promo code BBQ Central, get 10% off. By the way, I'm not getting anything out of this. I saw the cutting board, and I fell in love with it, so I had Ritchey on the show. Bottom line. You get it to your house, and you don't like it, you send an email to me. Tell me you don't like it. This thing is great. It's big. Realize the dimensions before you order, okay? Hey, let me talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grill, some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. A couple different lines to choose from. You have that classic line, the original line. That's what I got, a couple of those. Then you have the Prime line, built on a more robust chassis. It's got the peek-in windows on the main cooking chamber and the pellet hopper. Oh, dear. Also, what do we have going on? 2 internal meat probes. We also have a bunch more tech involved in the Prime lines. Regardless of which one you choose, you have pellets that you can buy at Green Mountain Grills and sauces and rubs. You can look at a whole bunch of videos. The bigger ones, the Jim Bowie, the Daniel Boone, accommodate that pizza oven that I tell you about all the time. Great things coming down the pike for Green Mountain Grills, too, by the way, as we roll into calendar year 2020. And we'll be talking to Jason Baker about that probably in the next handful of weeks or so. In the meantime, you go to greenmountaingrills.com, and we will be right back with Robyn Lindars, the Grill Girl. Stick around.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Well, as luck would have it, because you need pellet cookers, you need pellets to fire those cookers. And that's why this portion of the show is being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets. For all of your pellet-driven cookers, visit cookinpellets.com for more info or to purchase. You can also visit amazon.com to purchase as well. If you don't like cookinpellets.com and you love Amazon, you can do that. It's the 4th Tuesday of the month. You usually find her here on the 3rd Tuesday of the month, but when you're flying the bird back from the Windy City, you don't want to risk missing the biggest, baddest BBQ Central show ever. So we reboot here to the 4th Tuesday, and welcome back Robyn Lindars to the show. Hey, Robyn.
Hey, how's it going?
We are
Happy early Thanksgiving.
Thank you, and you too. We'll be talking about that as well. I don't know if you were listening to Ritchie's segment before you, but have you ever heard of a cutting board that is that big?
No, I wasn't listening because I couldn't get myself signed into Skype, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's 35 inches long.
Holy shit! You need a big counter for that.
Yeah, no doubt. It's 16 pounds, so you can get a little bit of a workout in. It's got I think he said it was either a 1/4 or 3/8 inch grease tray or grease channel that runs the outside of it. I mean, I'll send you some pictures after the show's done tonight. It's great.
It's a cardio cutting board.
Yeah, it's absolutely fabulous. I'm so glad I have it, especially as we lead into Thanksgiving. Plus, if you want to get one, Robyn, 10% off when you use code BBQ Central at gatorpit.net, but we'll talk about that after the fact.
I love it.
Let's get into a whole bunch of different stuff right now. World Food Championships, we were talking about it last month as you were gearing up for the Firewoman's Challenge. It was you getting it on against like 4 other women, blah, blah, blah. What happened?
Well, I did not win.
What?
And,
I know, it was Jackie Milligan, right?
she cleaned up. She won like everything the day before. And honestly, I'm so proud of her. And she's just a little firecracker. So I'm glad it was her. And I learned a lot. And you know what I really learned was that like when you're doing competitions, like that's like your thing. And I was kind of coming in as someone that doesn't do a lot of competitions. You know, I do like 2 or 3 a year. And there's a lot of stuff that you just
I hear excuses. I hear excuses.
Either way, I didn't win, but
what place did you
didn't
come
win.
in? What place did you come in?
I think I came in 4th, which is really bad. 4 out of like 4. So, but it was really, really tight. It was like, I know I was disappointed in myself. It was awful.
So
and
what
then
did you do?
So much beer afterwards. I was so bummed. And then someone gave me they said it was a CBD gummy, but I don't think it was. And then that was like so awful.
What are you
and then I
doing?
swear, the next day I was like, oh, thank God I'm okay. The next day, I think the good Lord was just like, we got to like get her out of her little funk.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
like, let's recap. Like, what did you make, and what would you change? Let's do a little post-mortem here for a second.
I mean, I hope I don't have to go down the path like I did after I was on Chopped and write a like a little blog post called post-traumatic chop disorder.
I don't think so.
I probably shouldn't have done tri-tip because I don't think that really plays to judges. I think that, like Mike said to me, you really gotta kind of like do something that's less risky and high reward, and something like filet or like, a tenderloin. And I think he's right. But I mean, the judging was close. I think like I was like 82, and then everyone was in like the 87, 90s range, early 90s range. So, I mean, I wasn't like so off. I mean, I think Mike said it was like one of the closest he's seen in a long time. But I did a pimento wood smoked Wagyu tri-tip with chimichurri. And I did it, on the reverse sear, I smoked it. And then I did caveman at the end. And then I did a fire roasted heirloom tomato and arugula salad. But one thing I didn't realize is that I thought it was purely like only cooking over charcoal. Like they said, you could have propane there, but I thought people would use that like to start their grills, like, like your fire starter or whatnot. Yeah. And every woman there but me, and this is what I was saying, is that there are some things you just don't know unless you're on the competition circuit and you see that, that you kind of see it out there. Every woman there had a side burner to cook on, like a propane fueled side burner. Huh. So I met this guy, one of the judges. He's some like ex-football player, pro bodybuilder, wrestler guy. I forgot what his name. I'm having a brain fart now. But I saw him in the elevator and I was like, can you give me some feedback? And he was like, yours was really good. I think you got knocked because some of the others had side dishes that were more like refined, or like, like someone made mashed potatoes. Now, had I known that I could use a side burner or something like that, which it wouldn't have even occurred to me. I don't know. You know what? I lost. I don't want to sound like a sore loser. It was a fun experience. I had fun.
Would you do it again next year if they asked you?
I don't know. I stressed so much about it, and I felt like also flying in and not, driving in, felt a little bit like at a disadvantage. Like Christina Fitzgerald showed up with like this massive apparatus, like you've probably seen on like Instagram, where she does that Brazilian style steak where it hangs over a fire. And I was like, fuck, like I came here in a suitcase. I put together my grill in the hotel room earlier today, like I'm like, but it was fun. I got a lot of fun time and hanging out with my dad, and I got some good coverage too as a journalist and a blogger, which is really what Grill Girl is about. I'm not as much of a competition cook. I'm more of a recipe developer and publisher, honestly, and journalist, like the Katie Couric of Q, if you will. But we had fun hanging out, and I don't know if I would do it again. I'm not sure. It was pretty expensive. Anyway.
Let's bottom line it. Let's bottom line it here, Robyn, because you are shoot from the hip honest. Are there any new bitches that we need to add to the We Hate Women barbecue list?
No, actually.
What? Damn it. Come on, just give me one. Just one name that we get. We want to hate somebody.
No, I don't really. Actually, I met lots of really cool women. And what was so cool is that there were a lot of competitions going on there. They had like the big steak cook-off the day before mine. There were some kids in that, and they're seeing a lot of younger females in the grilling and barbecue circuit, which is so cool. And so I met a lot of young women, like under 10 or like, that are out there grilling and cooking. And it's just so cool to see. And, and like I said, Jackie Milligan, who won my contest and like won like the whole thing the day before. Yeah. I actually interviewed her for my site, and I'm going to be featuring one of her recipes. It's actually like her first recipe that won her a competition. So true to like what I was saying, I'm really all about highlighting other females in the grilling space on the site. So you'll see more of that next year, which is kind of cool.
Robyn, your husband, as I said in the open, this guy is a man's man, right? I mean, man, as I had said in the open, I am anatomically a man only, but I would never be confused with what they call a man's man. This guy is killing everything on 20 acres. He's probably made everything extinct. But you open your refrigerator, and you have a host of dead things that are just in the refrigerator. I mean, what is going on over there?
I know. He went duck hunting this weekend.
Wow. Did he kill all of the ducks, Robyn, or any ducks left?
I hope there are some left. I know.
Maybe
I'm
one.
like, I see all those dead animals, and I'm like, oh God, like I feel bad for them.
They're just in your refrigerator. They're not even wrapped in cellophane.
I know.
Oh.
I'm like, for fuck's sake, Scott. Like, come on.
Right. I mean, like, wrap something up, and you could get like duck worms raging around the refrigerator or something. Who knows what those ducks have? SARS, right?
I know. I don't know. Honestly, we had some for dinner. They're delicious. But I told them, you got to clean all that stuff up because it's about to be Thanksgiving and I need the space. So make it happen.
So, like you ate all the ducks that were in the refrigerator already?
We haven't eaten all of them, but we had a few for dinner and they were tasty.
Yeah.
Not all ducks taste the same. Sometimes you get some and you're like, ugh, I hope you can disguise that in jalapeno popper, and other ones you get and they're delicious and they pair really well with a great wine and you get all the duck fat and you save that to cook with and it's delicious.
What kind of ducks were on the menu tonight?
We had mottled duck and pintails, which I think pintails are rare. More rare in Florida. I think they come from Canada, so they're down for the winter.
Right.
But yeah, I am at this point in my life starting to get more of an appreciation of at least being closer to my food and knowing where it comes from. So sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like what the heck, But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, at least I know it lived a good life. It didn't come from like a meat factory,
right.
It lived a good life until my husband shot it. And, instead of, there could be worse places he's going. I'm happy he's going out and, poking around in the woods instead of like, some guys might be going to strip clubs or something. So there could be worse things.
Strip clubs? Never. What?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, well, I know that guy's in the woods. You probably can't see him, but if you're a duck, I would be fearing for your ever-loving life because you're probably going to end up in your refrigerator by the end of the day. All right.
Well, he did have a run-in with a panther, which is very scary.
Panther? There's a panther out there?
They have the Florida panther is like on the endangered species.
No, I think that's a football team, Robyn. You're getting that incorrect. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, that's a jaguar. Sorry, never mind.
I think there is a hockey team that's called the Panthers.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know anything about hockey. So he's running into panthers?
He ran into a panther, I think, earlier this year when he was turkey hunting. Because, I mean, honestly, and they're out at the same time. Well, I wouldn't want to have a run-in. I think they're bigger than a bobcat. But they're endangered. They're like, the East Coast, they're the last of the East Coast mountain lions, but they're basically confined to a very small amount, like very small piece of the Everglades.
So he can't protect himself by shooting that thing. Otherwise he's going to jail.
Well, you can shoot in its direction and say, get the fuck out of my presence. Or I guess the alternative, if I can speak English, would be to run.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Are you out running a panther? Yeah, I would. I guess I would shoot, and if I hit it, oh well, I'll take what's constant. Because otherwise, if it's running at you, boy, oh boy, I mean,
you're gonna lose.
The downside is really bad. Anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Thanksgiving is coming up on Thursday. So what's on the agenda for the Lindars household?
Oh my God, I feel like I'm like training, like I'm prepping for the Olympics. Like I'm playing Rocky music in my head. But we are actually hosting Thanksgiving because I felt like it would be, in our new rental house. So I've just been kind of like in this nesting mode because we haven't lived here that long and I want the house to look cute and kind of still making it our own. But I figured, if I didn't host, my parents might not come because they have like a dog with diabetes and yada, yada, yada. So I said, okay, we're going to have Thanksgiving here. And, but we're going to eat on the porch overlooking the river. I think it'll be pretty. Yeah. And I'm going to do a spatchcock turkey. And I'm thinking of doing it half and half, like 2 different flavors. And we can vote to see like what we like best. Like half like a rosemary lemon compound butter, and then the other half Alabama white sauce, because I thought that would be delicious on turkey.
Wow, that's kind of a risk, I think, isn't it?
It is risky, but that's how I roll. If it sucks, then I guess I'll be like, my bad.
Right. Guess I finished 4th in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know.
So are you going to take that spatchcock turkey and then split it in half raw and then, do the 2 different flavors that way?
Yeah, I'm going to brine it and then I'm going to just half and half. I'll keep it together, but I'll just put one flavor on half and the other flavor on the half. And then you'll be able to tell I don't know. I could change my mind at any moment, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I think the key to not making yourself totally crazy for Thanksgiving is just being good about delegating. You know, like if you're hosting, it doesn't mean that you need to make every single dish on the menu.
Right.
You know, and you can be strategic in what you ask people to bring. Like if you look on my Instagram post, I delegated. Like I wasn't like, you need to make this recipe right here, but I was like, you need to bring a vegetable, you know, and I strategically asked people that kind of volunteered dishes that they had that they wanted to make, or, you know, but I'm trying to do a little lighter. It's not keto or fully paleo, but I didn't feel like we needed a million side dishes. We're doing, you know, like a sweet potato, a zucchini dish. I'm doing a keto cauliflower mac and cheese, you know, like a grain-free stuffing. So I'm just doing like a lightened version of everything. And then also, if you look at my website, my developer, Amber, is one of my contributing writers, and she's a nutritionist as well, and she's an excellent cook. A chai tea pumpkin pie. So it's kind of a take on your traditional pumpkin spice, and it's smoked. You know, it's made on pellet smoker. So, you know, what's really cool is that, you know, if you're gonna do your turkey on the grill, you're really saving yourself a lot of room for your oven to do your side dishes. And then, you know, and then while you're smoking your turkey, you can throw some other stuff on there too.
So it sounds like it's going to be a successful Thanksgiving no matter what. Now, because next month, your typical location in the third Tuesday is going to be creeping ever so close to Christmas. I'm wondering in advance if you have any holiday gift ideas, opinions, or guides, or anything like that you can share?
Yes. So every year it's coming out this week. I'm working on it. I'm plugging away, but I do my holiday gift guide annually. I've been doing it for the 10 years as a blogger and, you know, publisher. And so this is going to be, I guess, my 10th annual, 11th annual. I'll have to count, see how long I've been doing it. But so I usually do like my top 10, and I try to categorize them on, you know, grills, price range, stuff like that. But this year I'm doing a category on gifts that give back as well, because I think that's important, right? And so one thing I want to highlight, because I just think it's so damn funny and goes to a good cause. Can you see this?
Hold on.
The barbecue boy toy calendar.
Oh my God. F that. Let's start flipping through those pages, Robyn. Let's see it.
Yeah, well, because all the profits go to veterans, because it's produced by veterans. Look at this. Is this funny shit or what? Like, even if you just bought, well, I think I like the idea of gifts that actually give back. And this is funny. You know what I mean? Like,
he looks like he's getting ready to eat a lot and loving it.
Look at, you know,
yeah. Oh,
this guy.
Look at that. Nice pants. Love it.
This is it's just fun.
Yeah.
I like the fact that this is just super funny. So, yeah. So I'm also going to highlight Black River Barbecue. If they, so you've probably seen them on Instagram, but they also donate some of their profits to like firefighter rescue, like the guys out in the forest fighting forest fires and wildfires and whatnot. And then, you know, some stuff that you would expect, right? Like grill grates. I feel like this is the year of grill grates. Everyone's all about like, you know, if you at least because I dabble in the SCA. So what is good to note is where I have placed, Greg, in my competitions is for my cocktails.
That's right.
Very, very telling. So, but anyway, so what was I talking about? So, I got off train of thought there.
You were doing gifts that give back. Black River Barbecue.
So I love Weber's new colors of kettles this year. They have just some really sexy, fun colors.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. I'm going to interrupt you. I meant to ask this right up front. What were your first impressions of Smoke Fire?
Super impressed.
Super impressed? Not just because you were there and you feel like you had to be super impressed? No,
because I've been a Weber fan.
Sure.
For a long time.
Right, long time.
Because and they make a good quality product. I'd say in the past years, maybe they've had some ups and downs, and hasn't everyone. But I've always been a Weber fan, but I have lots of grills, but it was very well engineered, and they really, what they did was they tested, and they tested all the big pellet grills that are already out there, and then they got a lot of feedback from pellet owners, and they engineered the pain points that you would have with a pellet smoker and built that into this grill. So this grill, I think one quote I heard was that, you get the sear you would expect from a Genesis with the smoke component you would get from a Weber Smoky Mountain, albeit much easier to use than a Weber Smoky Mountain. I find, anyway, you get my point. But and they've really engineered some things that are smart and that are pain points of a pellet smoker. The cleaning part of your pellet smoker is real pain. They can get kind of messy. Auger can get clogged easily. So that the cleanup factor of your traditional pellet grill can be a pain point, and also just the way grease runs out.
Yep.
They've engineered that so it's a removable tray. It's actually the same tray that you can have from the Genesis. So, yep. But you probably saw my video. The fact that you can sear on it is pretty amazing because most pellet smokers have the
you got the deflector plate.
Yeah, and then Weber engineered it where they still have the flavorizer bars, and so you still get the flame. And so you can actually get a sear, and you can get to
600 degrees.
It can get to 600. I mean, we were cooking on it at 450, and it got up to 450 in 10 minutes, which is pretty awesome. So,
right. So you're a fan.
They did a good job. And you know what? If they didn't, that would be, they have to keep their reputation up. I think they will elevate the entire category with this new grill.
All right. Well, you can head over to grillgirl.com this week and make sure you're on the lookout for her holiday gift guide, which will be released. In the meantime, Robyn, have a great Thanksgiving on Thursday. Tell everybody I said hi and best wishes, and we will talk to you again next month.
Have a wonderful turkey day, Greg.
All right. Take
Love
care.
All you guys. Mwah.
Love you. There's Robyn right there, the Grill Girl, grillgirl.com. And let's get that going. There we go. Keep an eye out for her list of gifts. That's out every year. I think she said this will be her 10th year. Wow. Things are rapidly flying by. And I'm caught up there. Oh, I'm just caught up. All right. Let's keep on top of it here. We'll be right back as we point to the second hour.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the BBQ Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect the Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring. Or you can connect via Bluetooth if you want. If you have Alexa or the Google Assistant, you're in luck. Fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. That's right. All right, that was Robyn Lindars, Grill Girl from grillgirl.com. Again, make sure you are keeping track on her website as she's getting ready to release her 2019 holiday gift guide that will be focused on groups and companies that are giving back. Stover Barbecue in the chat room saying, fun fact, rats got into my Traeger. They did not clog the auger. They did poop pellets. Yes, of course they did. Also, the first segment, or the first interview segment with Ritchey Robyn on that cutting board, some of you are emailing in. 35 inches long, 18 wide, I believe you said, and then 16 pounds, half-inch thick. BBQ Central is the code if you go to gatorpit.net and hit that red store button at the top right. Cutting board is the first item listed as you check out code BBQ Central for 10% off. That brings it down to like $148, $148.50, I think he said. So grab one of those up. And as I said, get it. If you don't like it, email me and tell me you don't like it. I won't believe it. Well worth the money. You might think I should be paying more by the time you get it. First time you lift it out of the box. Oh. All right, we're pointing to the second hour. We have a special guest that just arrived in studio. Stick around. Be right back.
This is Terry Howe from the Talkback Fans Podcast, and you're listening to the BBQ Central Show with the incomparable host, Greg Rempe.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine. How's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude.
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener. But listen, Liberty, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. You found the BBQ Central Show, a show that talks about barbecue and grilling stuff Tuesdays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you that can't get it live, never fear, we do it on podcast as well. And you can go to iTunes and Google Podcast and all that other crap where you subscribe to podcast and get this show at your leisure. First hour will be released tomorrow, second hour Thursday. And don't forget that best of show on Friday. Friday marks the 100th episode of the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. And it's a little special version. It's not the normal John Solberg piecing a couple interviews together from a previous. John actually interviews me. So if you've wanted to hear me get interviewed, talk about the genesis of the show and the best of show and all that stuff, then make sure you subscribe to the podcast as we unveil episode 100 this coming Friday. Now, special guest in by surprise through, of course, company Learjet. We welcome back the starting middle for the Seton Hill University Griffins women's volleyball team. That's right. You know her, you love her. It is Bobby Rempe. Hey, Bobby!
Hello.
How
hello,
are you?
Hello,
Look at you.
Hello.
Man,
Good.
man, here she is, live and in pro. Oh, I gotta fix your. Oh, it's that camera. Hold on a second.
Do you only see my head? Well, maybe it's this chair. Because this chair is not good.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're good.
Yeah.
Looking good. See, you still got a little purple in that hair, I see.
Yes.
I like that. You like that?
Yeah.
You gonna keep it up?
No.
No?
No.
Oh. So now we're in the process of letting it grow out.
Yes.
Right. All right. Now, great stuff. So last Tuesday, believe it or not, as you were in the opening round of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission Conference Board Industry, and you were
Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference.
That's right. The PSAC, as they say.
The PSAC.
I don't say that. My boss always goes when he's. I say, Mike, my daughter was in the PSAC, and he goes, PSAC, because
That's how you say it. It's PSAC.
That's right. In the PSAC, you guys took it to East Stroudsburg. It was a tough 4-set loss. Kind of choked it away in the fourth, up 22-18. Of course, that completely goes against my 22 up by 3 or more points theory that I've been working on since JO season a number of years ago.
True.
But let's recap. So here's the good news, right? Yesterday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the NCAA women's volleyball tournament revealed that as a 7 seed in the Atlantic Division, Seton Hill will be playing Gannon. So you're excited about going to your first NCAA tournament?
Yes.
All right. So what has the coach prepared you guys for?
Well, we played Gannon before once already this season.
Yes.
So in practice yesterday, we prepared on going up and playing defense against quick offenses.
Because if I remember correctly, there isn't any one extremely tall. Like Stroudsburg had a couple really tall girls that were also very athletic and they could put the ball down and block very well on defense. I don't recall the same type of athletic outfit on Gannon's side. They were quick, they could hit, but there wasn't anybody that was like mega tall.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna lie. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I know we lost in 3, and we played a not great game.
Yes.
And they played, according to their coach, the best game of their season statistics-wise.
All right.
But I don't remember what the other people on the other side look like. So I couldn't tell you.
Volleyball players.
No.
Oh. All right, so Armenia, you guys excited? The game has been set. It's going to be next Thursday in Wheeling at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
So, I mean, so here's what I think. I was watching the East Stroudsburg game. Literally, as we were going on air, I was calling play-by-play in the opening segment of your game. I was doing my very best play-by-play impressions, and I was not doing very well. And I said, wow, look at this team. They're taking Stroudsburg to the limit each and every set. They got their doors blown off earlier in the year by Stroudsburg, so I thought it was going to be a quick dispatch of you guys, but you showed stick-to-itiveness, some fortitude, some fight, and you took them to 4. It probably could have been 5. My thought was if you got them to 5 and that race to 15.
I thought we were going to win.
I thought at 5.
After the third set.
Yes.
That last ball that I blocked, I thought we had it in the bag.
You thought you were going to go on and win?
Yes.
Wow.
100%. Because then we were up, and then we weren't anymore. We lost.
Yeah. But I thought if you got to 5, the race to 15, you guys definitely would have had momentum. And you probably would have beat them. And then maybe you would have beat, was it Shepherd that they ended up beating too? Or?
Shippensburg.
Oh, Shippensburg and then Shepherd.
We played them, and we lost in 5.
Yes.
We could have won.
Yeah.
So if we would have won the first one, we would have won the next one, and then the PSACs. So we would have won if we would have won on Tuesday.
You're thinking you could have just gone right. You could have won the PSAC tournament, right? Wow.
Yes.
My goodness. Well, I don't necessarily disagree. So here's what we need to take from that. I'm sure your coach has told you. You guys play a clean game on Thursday, and Gannon comes back to a little bit of normalcy, and they've done a little bit of losing as of late as well. I mean, they made probably...
They lost in 3 to Shepherd.
Right. So
Shepherd just joined the conference this year.
Yes, and they're a pretty good team. I mean, all in all, they're a pretty decent team all the way around. Was that a school that was recruiting you back in the day, or no?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. So, I mean, I'm saying 70% chance of Shoe winning on Thursday next week. Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
You think 70% is fair, or what's your heart telling you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Are you confident in your teammates?
Yes.
Yes. Then I would imagine you think you're going to win. Right? There's a lot of pounding going on over there. Kill. Hey, let's talk about the 2019 inaugural season for one Bobby Bell Rempe, the freshman from Wickliffe, from Village O High School in So, I mean, how's your first season? Like, did you expect to be starting? Did you expect to be seeing this amount of playing time? Like, what was your expectation going in? And where is it being met now as we sit here a couple days before Thanksgiving? Be honest.
Well, when the preseason started, I had no idea because we would practice and there was like 8 people in my position.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And 3 at the time were freshmen. 1 got moved to a different position. And then I went down. My hip just... So I thought, oh, that's it. Done for sure. Because I missed all of preseason and a scrimmage. I never thought that I would be starting. And then in Michigan, when I started doing good.
Yeah, Fair State, right.
I think is when he's like, So, I don't remember when I started starting.
It was pretty much then. Like, you were starting the last couple matches Fair State, and then you rolled right into the starting position every match after that you were starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I always, like, in high school, I always started. So, I mean, I know it's different, but, like, I wanted to start.
Sure.
Was hoping to start. Knew I could do it. Seeing my competition. But, I mean, I don't know. College is weird. Coaches can be weird about things. And here I am. I'm starting.
Do you get a letter?
Huh?
Do you get a letter?
I don't know how that works.
I don't think so.
I'm leading
Yes.
the team in blocks.
Wait.
You can get in touch with the show by
A BBQ Central Show exclusive news update.
That's right. Greg Rempe reporting from the breaking news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio, with a Seton Hill women's volleyball statistical update. Kills, where are you? Top fifth. Wow, as a freshman, 5th overall, as I might have. Now, oh crap. All right. What about blocks?
First.
Leading the team in blocks as a freshman. The freshman from Wycliffe. Wow, I mean, blocking is just tenacity. You want it more than everybody else. And plus, it's also what I've come to find out. You don't have to be a tall maniac in order to be a good blocker. I mean, certainly you have the hops from, I guess, from both me and your mom. From what I hear, everybody on mom's side, they said mom could jump. But that was the only redeeming quality of my athletic career, was that I was able to jump really, really high when I was in shape. So you have some hops in you.
Yeah.
But here's what I think the most unique thing about your blocking ability is.
Mm-hmm.
You have an uncanny way of tracking the person on the other side of the net who's getting ready to put it down, and you time them up, and you put that ball right back in their kisser. And it's absolutely, especially the single blocks or down ball blocks. Those are momentum swingers for your team, and they are backbreakers for the other team because they think they're getting a great swing on the ball. It's coming over 100 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden, 6-foot Bobby comes right up, whoop, poop, pops it right back down on the floor, score a point. They're demised. Your team rallies around, and they're like, Bobby's great again. She's great. Freshman from Wycliffe. Yeah.
Like that one during the East Stroudsburg game when I thought we were going to win.
Yeah, that was a great one.
It was the best one all season.
Right.
They all said it.
It was great.
But that was the best block you had all season. That was the best block anyone had. I was like, I know. Thank you.
Well, I mean, we don't lack for confidence anywhere over there, do we? Oh,
66 I have 66 blocks.
66 blocks.
Second place has 57.
Right. How tall are you? Somebody's asked. Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue wants to know how tall you are.
Does he?
With sneakers.
5'11".
6 foot.
5'11".
Let's round up. 6'2".
I'm just that much better when I'm shorter and blocking all the balls.
Right. So, I mean, taller than the average girl to be sure, Joe. But, you know, from a volleyball standpoint, there's certainly much taller women at the middle position.
I'm short.
Yeah.
Like the girl at East Stroudsburg, 6'3".
Yeah, she's a maniac. She's a monster.
Crazy.
All right, anything else before I let you go?
No.
No? All right. School's going well for you? I mean, I know, you go to college for academics first, not for volleyball. So, school's good?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of writing a paper.
All right, great. Go write the paper. We will track what's happening on Thursday. If anybody wants to come out to Wheeling and support Seton Hill, bring it on. Buy your Coca-Cola and a can of popcorn if you want, and we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, Bobby, thanks for stopping by.
You are welcome.
All right, we'll see you later. That's Bobby. Wonderful appearance by Bobby, impromptu, of course, flying in on the home-owned G5 back from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, as we get ready to stretch on over to the Embedded Correspondents segment. NCAA tournament time. Next Thursday is the opening round of 64. If they win, they would potentially play East Stroudsburg if they win their region. So we'll see how it goes. Yes, TNS Barbecue, Daddy Dearest, will be in Wheeling. Can't miss that. I'll take vacation days for that. And if they make the run, it'll be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday run. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's go ahead and load up for the Embedded Correspondents segment. Lots to get to with those guys, so stick around, and we'll be right back. Thanks again to Bobby Rempe, the starting middle for Seton Hill University women's volleyball team, breaking down the season and looking ahead to the NCAA regional round of 64 as they do that in Wheeling, West Virginia this coming Thursday. Not this coming Thursday, a week from Thursday. This coming Thursday is obviously Thanksgiving. Stick around, we'll be right back.
only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue, a man actually named Meathead, the author of a barbecue Bible, bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, well, it was like a week ago. The Smithfield National Barbecue Championship took place. They crowned a winner. That's right, it ended up being Fred Robles. They're also taking applications for the grant program, smokingwithsmithfield.com. You can head over there and also pay $20 or $25 for the Committed Cooks program, where you pay them to wear their stuff. And you can promote Smithfield, a great marketing concept over there by the folks at Smithfield. SmokingWithSmithfield.com, again, is the website. All right, it's the fourth Tuesday of the month, and you know what that means. I would play the drum roll, but hold on a second, guys. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. There it is. We are going to race to the hotline. No, that's too hot. No, that's too hot. Hold on. Bear with me. I accidentally deleted this. No, still too hot. Much better. It's the Embedded Correspondents. Little on-the-fly sound adjustments there. All right, here we go. Doug Scheiding, the longest-running correspondent, is right there on your left. Steve Ray from Tennessee is right there on the top. John Solberg from Michigan is there just underneath Steve. We are, I guess, for the foreseeable future, if not indefinitely, down a embedded correspondent. That would be David Huff from Oklahoma, and he is battling some personal issues that he's got to get through before we have him back here in the friendly confines of the BBQ Central Show embedded correspondent segment. So we have three now. If you're, dare I say, applications are open. So if you think you have the chutzpah, if you think you can bring the heat once a month and compete with the likes of Doug, John, and Steve, I welcome you to email me, Greg, at thebbqcentralshow.com, and make a pitch. You don't just say, can I? And I say, yes. You have to make a pitch and sell yourself because, hey, I'm a sales guy. Steve's a sales guy. Doug was probably a sales guy at one point. I know John loves sales guys in general. So, it's all different kinds of fun here. All right, so let's get into a number of topics that we have here tonight. Now, Doug, there was something I saw, and John, was it you or Steve post that wannabe meter thing the other day in our chat? Somebody posted it. Do you have one, John? Is that it?
I have a meat stick.
Yeah, meat stick. That's right. So that jogged my memory, and I said, man, oh man, I think it might have been a year ago, or maybe it seems like 2 years ago when there was this thing called the meter. 5 years ago, according to John, there was this thing called the meter, and it seemed to have the legs of being perhaps one of the most prolific, game-changing live fire thermometers ever, because it gave you internal, and then the part that stuck out of the meat was your ambient pin temperature probe. It seemed to solve all of your most ailing issues when it came to remote thermometering. Remote thermometering. Okay, I'm inventing a new word. Doug was first on the bandwagon. I think he actually might have been co-founder of the Kickstarter as we dig a little bit deeper into this. But, Doug, you have been riding this horse up and down the range. So can you refill us in on what I'm calling the timeline of disaster as we sit here as 2019 is rapidly coming to a close?
Well, thinking back, I believe I have you to thank, Greg, because didn't you have someone on the show that was talking about the meter? And I believe that's how I learned about it. I tried to find it on the archives. But anyway, so in June, I went back and looked, have the emails, June 22nd, 2017. All right. I bought 2 of the meat probes for a mere $69 each and $10 shipping. No sales tax.
So you're in $150 right now.
Yeah, 150 in.
All right.
And so then I heard about the stinking block, how it was going to have its own router, and then it was going to have 4 probes, and I'm like, okay. So later that day, I bought the block.
Wow. Just
and
like that.
That was $199 and $5 shipping.
Oh my.
So now I'm into it.
Now you're $355 in.
$355. Yes,
Wee.
exactly. So I received my my first two probes. They're only Bluetooth only. That was on October 11th, 2017. Not too bad, 5 months, I thought it was part of the Kickstarter.
Right.
It's Bluetooth only.
Yes.
Well, I apologize. It's Bluetooth primarily. You have to have an iPad or something to act as a router, then to connect to your home network. And it was very convoluted. I did it once. I used it 3 or 4 times, and then I just put it away. I'm like, okay, I'm not really going to use those because with the, when you put it in the grill, it was fine until you put it in the grill. And then the Bluetooth connection was terrible.
Oh.
And I wasn't going to leave my phone outside all the time. And so that was no good.
All right. And then has the meter or the meat block or whatever the hell they call the block, has that materialized yet or no?
Yes. Yeah. So I, John was pinging me several times saying I was never getting one. And so that was probably April of this year. So I have an email April 2nd, 2019. And I'm like, where is it? They responded back, and I'm quoting them, slower production, basically due to higher demand. How do you have slower production due to higher demand when you're not even sending any, and that they're assembling them all by hand, and that it was going to be shipping soon? But hey, if I was tired of waiting, they would offer an exchange for the Meter Plus, which apparently has a 5 times Bluetooth range as the original one, and that they would, so then I'm like, this is lacking confidence, but I'm like, screw it. I didn't like the original meter. So, why would I change it for the Meter Plus? So anyway, so I just thought, I'll just wait it out. And so on August 2nd, I sent them again another email, 2019. And where is it? And they said, oh, sorry, based on your order number, you should have been shipped in May. And that I needed to confirm my address for them to ship it to, and it must have gone to your spam.
Oh.
And that I had to go and confirm my address. And I'm like, oh, okay. So apparently they shipped to Kickstarter first, and then they shipped to Indiegogo backers.
Indiegogo, right?
Okay, so I was an Indigo backer, and so I should have been shipped in May, a month after my first email in April. So I did get it. I confirmed, and I did get it on August 19th. And weren't you saying in the last podcast or two how you got it and just put it in the drawer and then didn't use it?
Well, I mean,
you got some device.
I had the Fireboard that I got, and I just put it in because I had some perceived mental hurdle, and then once I actually used it, I was very ashamed, embarrassed. It was so super easy to get going, and it works fabulous. I use it all the time.
Okay. All right. So this sat on my coffee table because I actually tried to read the directions, but I always have my contacts in, and I hate using readers. The directions were so small that I would have had to have taken my contacts out to read them, and I didn't. And so I actually used it last night and this morning, so I could prep for this, and I used it in standalone mode. I tried to hook it up in Wi-Fi, didn't do it immediately, and then used it in standalone mode, and it actually was pretty good. Here it is. It's actually it's built pretty solidly, so it's not a cheap kind of device, and they don't number. These are all 1, 2, 3, 4. So it comes up on your screen. It's the temperature is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can program it in what temperature you want it to go off at, and it'll start beeping about 5 minutes before. So I had a brisket on and a turkey on this morning, and then it started beeping in terms of. So I had 2 probes in, 2 of the 4 in. So
you get the distance that you're hoping for, and they seem to be accurate in temperature taking and all of this.
No, I just left it next. Yeah, it's on standalone. Yeah, I moved it from to the kitchen area. Nah, one worked, one didn't. So, and I don't know if it's a function of the Timberline because it's the double installation. I don't know. I'm gonna connect it on the Wi-Fi here soon, but first experience is kind of mediocre, I'd say.
Oh dear. So it sounds like it continues to be a nightmare. Wow.
Yeah. But I'm interested in this meat stick. Yeah, the meat stick that John got and how much that costs.
John, talk to us about the meat stick. I guess let's hear about that.
I haven't really dug into it yet. The Wi-Fi kit comes with 2 probes and a charger, and but I haven't. It's like the 185 price range, and I haven't gotten any deeper to it.
How many thermometers did it come with?
2.
2. All right. So I
2.
mean, it's half the price of what Doug's into, and it's got about half the amount of thermometers. But when do you anticipate a review or a use of that?
I'm hoping to get going with it this weekend and really take a dive into it and see if I can break it.
Steve, what are your thoughts on all of this stuff?
I bought a turkey today. You want to hear about that?
I do want to hear about that. Let's talk turkey. All right. Do you use any of that stuff, Steve? Are you
No.
just Thermapen guy? You have any remote thermometer stuff? You have a Fireboard or
Nope.
anything like that?
Thermapen.
Thermapen, that's it.
That's it.
All right. Diane Me in the chat room says, just cook the damn meat and forget about the science experiment. We agree, Diane. Hey, we
Yeah.
just like to buy tech. I mean, what can we say? We're men. All right, so that's the Doug Scheiding's timeline of disaster update, and it sounds like it continues to be a bit of a disaster. But we'll see how it goes when he gets into Wi-Fi mode. Now, let's quickly go around the table here. Last month, we were really bagging on Subway brisket sandwiches and Arby's brisket sandwiches. But we did pick our favorites out of the crap, which I always love to do, picking favorites out of crap. And then we heard that there was some Nashville hot brisket sandwiches that I tasked everybody to go out and try. So, Steve, let's start with you. Did you try it, and what did you think?
Yes.
What did you think?
Well, let me tell you.
Oh.
You see that right there?
It looks like a styrofoam container.
But it's not.
Oh.
Doug and y'all join me, John, Greg. This thing is really heavy duty. You open it up.
Yeah.
See there?
I like it.
Nice presentation.
Yeah.
I brought it with us.
Oh, look at that.
See there?
You doing a live eating demonstration here on the TV?
No, I'm not going to eat it because it tastes like shit.
Oh.
But I wanted to show it to you.
Yeah. All right.
And it is stacked as far as presentation.
Yeah.
Compared to the Subway.
What kind of is that like a ciabatta bun or like what kind of a bun?
Yeah, it's a
looks pretty heavy duty.
It's a cornbread bun.
Cornbread.
What's it called, Doug?
Cornbread bun.
Yeah, it's pretty thick.
Yeah.
It's pretty thick.
Good.
The slaw was good.
Good meat to bun ratio.
Yeah. A lot better than Subway. It's better than Subway. It's better than what
Arby's.
else did we get?
Arby's,
yeah. But it's just sliced so thin. It's that's it. It's like
oh dear,
chipped ham from Isley's up in Pittsburgh. It's real thin. It's not good.
Well, the difference, of course, is Isley's Chip Chop ham is absolutely delicious. Oh my God, I love that. It's one of my favorites of all time.
But did you see this? Did you see that little thing when you guys got yours?
A fire hydrant of sauce.
Yeah, it's a. Now, Greg, you'll have to correct my pronunciation. Datil pepper hot sauce. Is that right? Datil.
I've never heard of it.
Datil.
Yeah, we'll go with Datil. Why not?
Okay. That's up by the counter, $5.99. I thought the little fire hydrant thing was cute, so I bought it.
All right, but so like on a scale of 1 to 10, where does this hot
2.
brisket? 2. All right.
2.
John, did you try it out?
I did try it out.
All right. What did you think?
It was my first firehouse experience, which I thought just totally lacked luster. You walk in the door, they say, "Welcome to the firehouse," and you could tell they just did not want to be saying that to you that day. So I thought that it was pricey. I'm sorry, I don't recall the price point. But I got the sandwich. It was just a roast beef shaved sandwich, like Steve said. There was a lot of heat on the front end. There was zero heat on the back end. I can't say it was good. I do think that the cornbread bun was good because it was sweet. And not being a bread person, for me, it was like eating a piece of cake. The slaw was all right, as Steve said. But all in all, yeah, I'll go a 3 on it. But that's the best I can do with it.
All right. What about you, Doug?
Yeah, I did like the cornbread bun, but as I've been guilty of before, I can burn the bun. My bun was a little burnt, so I picked off the burnt. Had mayo, pickles, slaw, thinly sliced. I thought it was more like pastrami style. I thought the sauce was, and maybe that's that daytail sauce that you bought, Steve, was more like a wing sauce, not a barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And it was, I thought, entirely too spicy. Again, the land of fast food where barbecue sauce dominates whatever sandwich. I gave it a 3, but I did like Subway, remember, and Arby's is more like a 2.
All right. Well,
it wasn't as bad as the Arby's.
I don't want to say that I'm a Nashville aficionado, but I really like a good Nashville hot something, usually on chicken, right? So to see that get pressed over into brisket to maybe differentiate, I was definitely in my mind at odds with myself because I'm like, well, I like it in concept, but is it going to translate into brisket? And the real unique thing about the Nashville hot sauce is, of course, a portion of that is grease. It's the deep fried grease that you put in, and then you add your spices, and then you take the meat and you coat it, toss it, whatever. That's what makes it unique. There was not one thing that screamed real Nashville hot sauce on that sandwich. And I can't even confirm that was brisket. I really think it was just, I'm more convinced that I ate a Arby's roast beef sandwich at Firehouse Subs than I was when I ate a brisket sandwich at Arby's. Like, that's how much I thought that was roast beef. So to me, I give it a 1. Failure. That should be immediately, as Austin Carr just said, get that weak stuff out of here. That should be removed from the menu. And then, by the way, I just drove past a Firehouse at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and it said Nashville hot brisket sandwich right there. So it's still up and available. I highly suggest not just driving right past it. And by the way, Subway House or Firehouse Subs, they suck. They're just in general a big suctitude of subs. They're really not. I just don't like it at all. If you're gonna get, like, to me, you go to like a mom and pop sub shop, and I don't even really think they have those anymore. A few in between here and there in Cleveland. I don't know if they have them where you guys are. I mean, everybody's pretty much relegated to like a Firehouse or a Subway or someplace like this, which is sad because back in the old days, you go to a corner sub shop and those were some of the best sandwiches you could actually get. All right. I think we're off of food assignments from now. Well, let me ask you, did anybody eat Popeye's chicken sandwich? Doug, did you eat a Popeye's chicken sandwich?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, quickly give us your 1 to 10 on that, because Daniel Vaughn rates it a 7 overall on the best thing he's ever eaten.
Oh, if it's on a best thing you've ever eaten, it's more like a 3 or 4. But I do like Popeyes. I like their fried chicken. So I also had the hot Nashville chicken at Firehouse just because I was there, and that was more like a 2. That was worse than the brisket because it wasn't even fried. It wasn't even fried. But anyway, so it's a good value, but best thing you ever eat for, but on the sandwich on itself is a 5 or 6. But
all right, Steve, did you have a Popeyes? Oh, you did the Popeyes thing live on your show, right?
Yeah, they're good. They're good. I like them better than Chick-fil-A.
1 to 5 or 1 to 10. 1 being terrible, 10 being the best thing you've ever eaten. Where does it rate?
Not the best thing is. I mean, it's like a 4, but as far as chicken sandwich, it's like an 8 to me.
All right, well,
it's good.
And John, did you eat a Popeyes?
I refuse to participate
Me
in
too.
that debauchery.
Fuck it. You're not going to catch me over there.
If I got to open carry to go to a neighborhood to get a chicken sandwich and fight with somebody in a really bad neighborhood and worry about my truck getting stole, I am not going to do it.
That's
it's
right.
ridiculous.
It's outrageous.
Get over it. I'm done.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm not going to do it. I will not succumb. But Daniel Vaughn had me on the ropes 2 weeks ago where I thought I was probably going to go within 48 hours of that segment just to see, and somehow I resisted, and now I've built up an even more firm. There's just no way in hell that I'm going to do it. So it will go away, and I will now have missed it twice in its life. So we'll see. All right, guys, stand by here for just a minute, and we'll get into the Thanksgiving talk here when we come back. We are the Embedded Correspondents segment right here on the BBQ Central Show. I'll talk to you quickly about the Barbecue Guru. These guys are the creators of automatic pit temperature control technology. So if you have a friend or loved one that has a bullet-style smoker, kettle-style smoker, ceramic cooker, some type of offset pit, then all you hear them do is complain about, it's too hard to maintain temperature. I don't want to do it anymore. Think about a Barbecue Guru. Something you're going to attach to the bottom or wherever the air intake is. You're going to take one probe and put it in the cooking chamber. And that probe is going to monitor where the cooking chamber is at, and then the little fan underneath where the dampers are at the bottom on the intake will pulse, make sure that fire stoked nice and right. Now you can just go ahead. Set that temperature wherever you want it. You can bake, you can grill, you can barbecue, you can do all that stuff. And they have a bunch of different models to choose from. So if you don't know which one you want, you call them at 800-288-GURU, and you ask all the questions you want. They'll make sure that you are outfitted with the exact one that you need for your cooker. If you are into the whole tech thing, the CyberQ Cloud is the one that you're going to want to get. That graphs, you can look at it from wherever you are in the world, really. They got a bunch of different other ones from there. Also, they have cookers, and they have rubs and sauces. Bob Trudnak has his own line of Having a Barbecue. So I think there's a peach brown sugar sauce that may or may not be coming out soon. We'll have to talk to him about that. But longest supporter of the show. So, again, great gift idea if you're looking for somebody who is complaining about having to tend those pit temperatures. Barbecue Guru is something that might be right up your alley. BBQGuru.com. That's BBQGuru.com, or call 800-288-GURU. A breakthrough in barbecue technology. We're back with more Embedded Correspondents right after this. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show is... we'll wait for that. The Embedded Correspondents are here, though. Doug Scheiding from Texas is right there in the green shirt. Steve Ray on the top, and in the purple shirt and blue background, which is, man, second week in a row, I'm just in love with John's whole setup back there. It's so simple, looks so professional, like he's in a real studio somewhere. It's great. Love it. All right, guys, so let's talk about Thanksgiving. Thursday it is, and I'm sure there's people that might have just forgot that it's this Thursday. So what are your top 2 or 3 turkey tips or tricks? Like Thanksgiving stuff. Doesn't have to be like the old, we got to thaw a 60-pound turkey out over the next 2 days or anything like that. But what do you find yourself, your go-tos as Thanksgiving comes, Doug?
Don't brine, because they're almost all in a 8% brine anyway. So to me, that's like, trying to brine extra tender ribs. So don't do that. I inject with Tony Chachery's, the Creole butter and the jalapeno. You mix it, and that's about the right amount of spice. When I put it in the grill, I always put the breast to the back in the beginning, because I want to get them kind of heated up and going. And then about halfway through, I'll flip them around and have the breast pointing towards me so that I can monitor the temperature of the breast primarily, just like I do chicken.
Is it hotter in the back then?
Yeah, typically it is. I mean, you're opening the grill and stuff. And so I always put the thicker part of the brisket to the back. I always put, the thicker part of the ribs to the back. I always do that.
Do you buy into the whole icing the breast meat down to slow it down, or to bring it down even a few more degrees so you can achieve a overall finishing time together with the dark meat?
Yeah, I actually try to speed up the breast to a certain, especially on a turkey, because it's so thick. So that's why I put it to the back, and then you turn around. You've got a larger window with the leg and the thigh, right? I mean, anywhere from 165 to 180, you're probably fine. But the breast, you need to really concentrate on and get that to about 160, 165.
Are you a spatchcocker?
Spatchcock, yes.
Always?
Yeah, I do. No, not always. Not always. But that would be the preferred method. I did a 20-pound bird this morning.
Holy moly. How did it turn out?
It turned out great. It may have been one of my best ones ever.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I used to fry turkeys, and finally my wife has decided or agreed with me that smoking the turkey is best. So I do it at 325 and probably about 3.5, 4 hours.
All right, Steve, your turkey tips?
First thing is make sure you get the packages out of the turkey cavity. And people laugh,
right.
But I posted that on my Facebook page this week, and you wouldn't believe the comments I got privately and publicly about people doing the same thing and forgetting to take the packages out. There's usually 3. There's that neck that's raw. That's got a package of giblets, or I don't know what those things are, and I think the heart is in there. And I heard Steven Reichland talking about it on the best 20 minutes of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less.
The best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Jesus Christ.
I believe he said he throws them all in and he boils it. And that's fine if that's what you want to do it, but just take them out. And number 2 is clip the wings off. The wings don't cook well in a smoker. They don't cook that great in an oven. Just go ahead and take those off, and don't worry about covering them with foil. They don't add that much to the presentation. And the number 3 thing.
So you're just doing away with wings altogether?
Yeah, there's only 2 of them.
What are you going to do with them? You just throw them away?
Just throw them away. Yeah, throw them with those bags of stuff that came in the cavity.
The whole wing or just the wing tip?
No, the whole wing. Nobody eats it.
I ate mine today.
What?
I ate the wing today from the turkey I cooked for the hospital. Yes.
Okay. Well, you can do it if you want, but I throw them away because they just get black. And that's the third thing I was going to address in my part of the segment, Doug, was when you put the turkey in the smoker.
Yes.
Cook it at a high temperature, as my comrade Doug did, at 300 to 325, because that allows the bird to cook with a pretty color. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody take a turkey out of a smoker and it's black, and they say how they cooked it for 7 hours at 225 degrees. Isn't it beautiful? It's not beautiful. It's black. Turkeys are not black. They're supposed to be golden brown. Cook it at a high temperature for a short period of time, and as you're cooking it, spritz it with butter at the top. You can inject it like Doug said beforehand, but I'm talking about the actual cook. Spritz it at least every 45 minutes with spray butter, and you will get a golden brown turkey that you will be proud to serve to your family without the nasty black skin, and trying to pass it off as a good-looking turkey.
All right, John, your tips?
I'm a whole fresh turkey guy. I don't spatchcock.
Are you an heirloom fresh turkey guy?
No, I get the grocery store brand. You can get a fresh one from the grocery store just like you get the frozen one. The frozen one has 8 to 12% brine in it. A fresh one might have up to 4% of added water. But you
just
get
water?
Just water? Just water on those ones.
All right.
And I wet brine it with Alton Brown recipe, and I have for years. And then I'm a 325, 350 guy with a minimal amount of wood, because you can really over blacken that also with too much wood.
Yeah.
So also, if you're going to use lump charcoal, a cheap lump charcoal will put a lot more dark on your turkey than a better lump charcoal.
Just because of how clean it is or is not burning?
That's what I believe to be the case. So, go ahead.
What size bird are you cooking usually?
I'm the 12 to 14 pound times 2 guy.
Yeah.
Same with you, Steve?
Yes.
All right. Doug, do you typically cook a 20-pound turkey, or you're just feeling like a man today?
It was supposed to be 16 pounds, and I got the 20 pounds from the meat shop. So, but yeah, I did get the young fresh for whatever it's worth.
All right. Well, let me quickly run back around, John, and we'll come back and get your wrap up on the turkey stuff. Doug, have you ever had an heirloom turkey?
No.
Would you have any idea where to find one?
Maybe crowd cow.
All right. I have no idea. Steve, heirloom turkey, yes or no?
No. I saw a turkey online today that was $8 a pound, and the total cost of the turkey was $199.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Somebody took a picture of the sticker.
John, have you ever seen heirloom turkey? I know you said you don't use them, but have you seen heirloom turkey?
No, I've never.
All right. Well, as luck would have it, I was just in Larder Delicatessen at the end of the week last week talking to owner Jeremy Umansky, who is a foraging expert and a koji master. And I said, well, your pal, Steven Reichen, was just on my show, and he said something about heirloom turkey. I've never heard of such a thing. Well, lo and behold, Jeremy has an heirloom turkey on order from a place called Ohio City Provisions or Ohio Provisions or something like that. And it was, probably $5 a pound. But he said, hey, I know you got the face on that I can't see right now, but, it's 12 pounds. You're going to be paying $60. He's like, but the flavor that this heirloom turkey is going to have he likened it almost to like, caribou pork versus a commodity pork flavor, if you will. And he said the flavor that you will hit your palate on a heirloom turkey versus your butterball or, you name it, commodity brand are so different. And that's why one is, what's a turkey on sale cost? 25 cents a pound or 50 cents a pound or something like that versus $5 a pound. He said the $60 is well worth. So, he inspired me not enough to go 5 blocks up the street to Ohio City Provisions and order an heirloom turkey because, oh, by the way, I'm married now 22 years and I have cooked, one Thanksgiving ever? Yeah, I've hardly ever cooked a Thanksgiving in my life. My mom cooked Thanksgiving up until I can remember, and then when I got married, my mother-in-law has taken over all the Thanksgiving, so, I don't ever cook Thanksgiving. I sometimes have to suffer through Thanksgiving, but I rarely have to cook through Thanksgiving. All right, so quickly, let's go around the top here. Doug, this will be a little bit repetitive for you, but Steve, a spatchcock or no?
No, absolutely not.
John, spatchcock?
No.
Doug, you are a spatchcock.
Yes, prefer.
Doug, cranberries in the can, yes or no?
No to cranberries.
Period?
Period.
All right. Steve, cranberries in the can, yes or no?
No to cranberries as well.
Okay. And John, cranberries in the can, yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. God, it's a treat from Jesus Christ himself, for crying out loud. Let's see. Mashed taters, yes or no, John?
Yes.
Doug, mashed taters, yes?
Absolutely, and I make the gravy because you can never have enough.
That's right. Steve, mashed potatoes, yes or no?
It's a must.
That's
Got
a
to have
must.
mashed potatoes.
All right,
it's a must.
Let's stay with Steve. Stuffing or dressing?
Dressing.
All right, so you like to go outside the turkey?
Yeah, that's how we cook it here.
Okay.
We don't cook it inside. We cook it in a pan.
Do you ever stuff a turkey or just never would do that?
No, I never have.
Oh, okay.
I'm like you. I've never been charged with doing the entire meal. I've done the turkey, and then they say just stay out of the kitchen.
John, dressing or stuffing?
We call it stuffing, but it doesn't go in the bird. So up here, it's just so it is technically dressing, but up here we call it stuffing,
Okay.
never in the bird.
You've never done it in the bird?
Yes, back in the day before you found out it was probably not the greatest way to go about it.
Doug, stuffing or dressing?
My mom's stuffing was the best, and she did it initially in the bird, then she would take it out and finish it in a pan.
Delicious. So you got a little crust or crisp on there?
Exactly, and then hopefully that got all the bad stuff, because it sometimes doesn't cook in the stuffing, right? When you put it in the bird, but yeah, it was in the bird during the cook, and then she finished it in the pan.
All right, John, dark or white meat preference?
I'm good with both, and I will put both on the plate right out of the gate.
All right, Doug, dark or white meat preference?
I always like to try the white because that's harder to cook.
So you're doing it from a competitive standpoint then?
Yeah, I just want, yeah.
All right, Steve, dark or white meat?
White meat.
White.
Lots of gravy.
All right. Should one infer with lots of gravy that you've overshot, or do you just like gravy?
I just love gravy. I put it on everything.
All right.
The dressing, potatoes, everything.
I'm a dark meat guy. I'm a dark meat guy on chicken. I'm a dark meat guy on turkey. Any poultry, I guess. I'm more dark meat guy than white meat. And I've never been around a lot of recent Thanksgivings where the white meat has drawn my attention in a positive way, if you know what I mean. So, but there is usually a lot of gravy, so that's a saving grace nonetheless. All right, so let's quickly go around. Steve, we'll start with you. A favorite Thanksgiving Day memory?
This is easy. 2007, we were invited to my wife's sister's home in Knoxville.
All right.
And we went up early. I went up early with them, and my brother-in-law and I were going to play golf. So we got up early and went to the country club, and he treated me to a great breakfast at the club, and we played golf, and it was just wonderful morning, and we finished our golf, and we had drinks, and he said, well, lunch is at 2, so let's head on back. So we got on back, and the turkey was just going into the oven at 1:45.
Oh, dear.
So, but who's in a hurry on Thanksgiving, right? So thought nothing of it, sat around. The guests started to arrive. The caterers started to arrive. Everybody was drinking and then drinking and drinking. 2 o'clock came and went. 3 o'clock came and went. 4 o'clock came and went. My brother-in-law kept drinking. 5 o'clock came and went.
Oh, dear.
6 o'clock came and went. And I heard a commotion in the kitchen. And these people live in quite a lovely home with a double oven. And I heard one of the ovens open, and I heard the turkey come out and get slammed into the other oven that was set at sun. He put the turkey in there, and then we watched it cook in an infrared environment. And we all joyfully sat down at 7:45 for Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, my Lord.
And not a whole lot of conversation was going on, especially between my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. So after the dinner, my two brother-in-laws and I retired to the den, and we sat there, and we were going to sleep. But then one of the nephews turned on HBO, and lo and behold, it was a Britney Spears concert from Las Vegas.
Oh.
I had never seen Britney Spears in concert. I didn't really get Britney Spears. I get Britney Spears now. I sure do.
Yeah?
Watch that concert
right
without batting an eye.
Yeah, I bet.
Without moving an inch from that couch. So what turned out to be just a bad meal experience turned into a great Britney Spears viewing experience. And at about 10:30.
Steve Ray, head of the Britney Spears fan club after that, right?
I'm a big follower on Instagram.
I bet you are, no doubt. John, do you have can you regale us with a Thanksgiving tale?
That's a tough one to follow.
Sure.
I actually I thought about this, and I thought the best Thanksgiving memory I have, actually, I was in the Air Force. It was 1982. Couldn't make it home. But we weren't working that day. So my roommate said, hey, let's see who's not working today. We didn't have any plans. We didn't have a turkey. I had a Stouffer's frozen lasagna in the freezer and a frozen garlic bread. And we started getting on the phone back in the old days. You know, you dialed the phone with around and around. And we found a dozen people that were there like us. Everybody just brought whatever they had in their freezers and in their refrigerators and beers, and we just all met up at my place, and we just had the greatest Thanksgiving I think I ever had. And just with Stouffer's frozen lasagna and some garlic bread.
If nothing screams Thanksgiving like Stouffer's frozen lasagna. But what are you going to do? I mean, you're in the Air Force, and options are very limited at that point.
We didn't plan. You're not planners when you're 19. You're not thinking about it.
That's right. Flying by the seat of your pants. All right, Doug, do you have a favorite Thanksgiving memory?
Well, when I was a kid, we used to go to Iowa and, my grandfather's house on the farm and stuff. So that was always fun. But more recently, and this is going to shock Steve Ray Spears, but it was when I was with my nephew and nieces. And that's back when I used to fry turkeys, probably 10 years ago or so. And we had a fried chicken wing contest, and we had 3 rounds that we did, just like the National Barbecue Smithfield. But we had 3 rounds of and it was just, they had so much fun, and then they got to all taste each other's, and I mean, we must have done that for 2-3 hours, so it was actually a lot of fun.
My favorite Thanksgiving memory is one that repeated itself for 15 years, maybe even 20 years, as I'm trying to think. There were 2 different traditions in my house that were mainstays. Christmas was always spent at my mom's parents' house in Hornell, New York, and we would go. I think there was at one point we would go, 2 weeks. There were days leading up to Christmas. We'd have the actual event, then we'd stay for like a week, almost into New Year's, and it was like a whole thing. My cousin was there, and it was great. And that was Christmas, always over at Grandma Lapiana. Thanksgiving was at my house, wherever we were at that point. And originally it started in Saratoga Springs, New York. And then my dad's brother, my Uncle Tom, would show up, and he had his wife, and he had 2 sons. And then my dad's parents would also show up. So this is Grandma and Grandpa Rempe for me. And that was probably in the neighborhood of a week. Maybe it was a little shorter than that. But there were things that really stuck out to me during those times. And it was waking up Thanksgiving morning, and it was my Uncle Tom and my mom feverishly working at some ungodly sized turkey that everybody was breaking out the tape measures to try and figure out how they were exactly going to fit that son of a bitch into the oven, and mathematically working out how, back timing it in so everything else was going to finish all at the same time as we were shooting for a dinner time arrival. And then my Uncle Tom had a great love affair with wine, and he did a lot of traveling at one point, and he would always bring back these German, they were called Franken wines. That's a wine brand for some reason that really sticks in my head, were these Franken wines. And I didn't like wine back then at all. And I tried, it was just not any good. The thing that just sticks in my mind the most, and I hope nobody is listening, my uncle's wife really liked drinking. And by the time Thanksgiving dinner rolled around, there were more years than not when she was well into the bag. And it was just a great sight to behold. Just kind of yapping and yelling, and maybe sometimes passing out and all that stuff. But like every year, like that was it. And then it was like, okay, well, I got to go to work, because I worked at a movie theater, and I had the ability to escape at that point. Because as you know, Thanksgiving and I think it's Christmas are 2 of the biggest going to the movie nights in the movie industry, believe it or not. So there you go. So that's kind of my Thanksgiving reprisal and story. So there you go. We have a great Thanksgiving coming up for everybody. Hopefully I'll still be passing along some tips and tricks and old podcasts. But in the meantime, I want to thank my guys, John Solberg from Michigan, Steve Ray from Tennessee, and Doug Scheiding from Texas. A very happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, be well, hug the ones you love, all the good stuff. And we will see you guys back, believe it or not, to close out the year of 2019 next month. We'll actually see how logistically that's going to work out, but we'll probably be here next month. So there they are, the Embedded Correspondents. See you gents later. There they go. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. All right. I got one more of these to do, and then we can make tracks to get out. I'm telling you, man, it was a sight at my house. Is Uncle Tom's wife going to make it through dinner? Is she going to vomit? Let's hope not. That's expensive wine. Keep that in house. Hey, let me talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue, a curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies. We'll get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at BigPapaSmokers.com has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From the award-winning rubs and sauces to the American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa has something for everybody to be a better outdoor cook. They have 13 perfectly balanced rubs and seasonings if you want to jump in on those. Also, a special relationship with Steph Franklin and the folks over at Simply Marvelous Barbecue. Putting those two together gets you the West Coast offense. They own Granny's barbecue sauce. So if you're looking for a new go-to sauce or you're tired of what's on the market, head on over and check out Granny's barbecue. It's delicious. I've had it. And aside from the premium selection of rubs and sauces, they also have great cookers. Of course, they are the exclusive Mac online pellet cooker retailer. So if you're interested in learning more about those, BigPapaSmokers.com. Also, Old Hickory Ace BPs. It's the only charcoal cooker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. And if you have any questions about what cooker you may or may not want to get, call them 877-828-0727. That's 877-828-0727, or shop the website BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BigPapaSmokers.com. Back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. We thank Doug Scheiding, John Solberg, and Steve Ray for joining me last segment. And the segment before that, breaking down Thanksgiving, little meter talk, all the good stuff. We'll find them again next month as we close out the year of 2019. And we get ready to race away right here, all the way back in the first hour. Ritchey Robyn started us out. If you're interested in that kick-ass cutting board, go to gatorpit.net, not .com, .net. The top right, as you look at it, there's a big red shop button. Click on that. First thing listed is the cutting board. Again, 35 inches, 18 inches high, half-inch thick, the grease channel that runs all the way around it. $165 retail. Use promo code BBQ Central. That's BBQ Central for 10% off. That brings you down to $140.